there have been many guitar solos in our time. By my reckoning, at least 4. So I thought it could be a fun little exercise to have a look at the top most legendary solos ever, the absolute pinnacle in human achievement of guitar lead work, and do what all good creators do and reduce them to a completely arbitrary tier list ranking. It goes without saying that obviously every single solo on this list is amazingly legendary and way better than anything I could ever write. And this is just for the purposes of a little bit of light-hearted content and not to be taken too seriously, okay? Right, let's go! Okay, right. First things first, I think we need to name our tiers, right? I guess we'll have, I don't know, perfect. Perfect solo up the top. After that, we'll have amazing. So it's amazing, but it's not perfect. Yeah, okay. And then we've got still great, but mid compared to the rest. We need one controversial tier. It's gotta be all right. Overrated. Overrated, in my opinion. Shouting. So first off, we've got Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne, played by Randy Rhoads. Is it a perfect solo? Oh, you know what? I think it might be. Perfectly structured solo in my opinion. 4 very clear sections. It's got like an A, B, C, and a D that all sort of like flow perfectly and complement each other. The tone of it is really unique. I'm gonna stick it in perfect. You know, I don't think it's gonna be as perfect as some of the others on this list, but it's up there. Right, now we've got Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses. Compared to what I know he can do and what he's done in other songs, like Sweet Child of Mine is like, it's not up there, it's like way down there. Now if you compare that to Night Train or November Rain, that signature, smooth, catchy slash phrasing is just, it's not there in that song. Is it amazing? No. Yeah, I don't think it's overrated, it's fine. Yeah, it's going here, it's like, it's very mid. It's painfully mid. Right! Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. In my opinion, Bohemian Rhapsody is an absolute masterclass in phrasing. Brian May, he just makes the guitar bloody sing. You know, I can't really fault anything Brian May does, to be honest. I think he's just like a phenomenal guitar player. It's going up there. It's going in perfect. Yeah, it's better than Crazy Train solo. Right, what we got next then? Oh, okay, now we've got Purple Rain by Prince. I have a big gripe with like really long extended solos that are a bit like jammy and, you know, mostly improvised and don't really go anywhere. Prince is cool, but I don't know, it's really quite boring to me. And like, I do like the melody at the end, like the repeating like, I don't know, it's like too much melodrama with not enough substance for me, I'm sorry. But it's going smack bang in overrated. And next up we have Metallica with Fade to Black. I've never really understood why Fade to Black is such a famous solo and held in such high regard. Why Fade to Black? Now the intro solo, now that's good. I think the intro solo is much better. But like that whole long solo that finishes the song off. For me, this is kind of like the metal version of like Comfortably Numb. It's just an unnecessarily long solo that doesn't really go anywhere, that's a bit monotone and like just bores me to death when I listen to it. Phrasing is just like not interesting at all. It's just like scale runs going up and down, up and down, up and down. It's not an exciting solo like at all. Overrated. Bam! All right, next up we have Pink Floyd, Comfortably Numb. I really should have planned this better. I put my 3 least favorite solos next to each other. Whoops! I think the first solo in Comfortably Numb is sick. Very pretty, but the second solo, oh my god. This is like the ultimate fucking jamming down the pub with your granddad solo. I think David Gilmour's great. He has some amazing moments, but this solo is like so overrated. The majority of it is just played in like, you know, the standard B minor box shape. The phrasing's really not interesting. Yeah, there's a bit of a climax, you know, he goes up to bends up the top for a while, but then he just goes back down. I'm bored to tears like halfway through it, and like, oh god, this was exhausting. I'm getting heart palpitations. So yeah, if this was the first Comfortably Numb solo, then yeah, perfect. But if it's like the main solo that everyone always loves and talks about, then overrated, I'm sorry, but like, no, it's better than Purple Rain and Fade to Black. Dire Straits, Sultans of Swing, Mark Knopfler, very underrated guitarist in my opinion. And Sultans of Swing is like, you know, his shining moment. It's a good example and showcase for what he's about. Slightly flamenco influenced in his licks. I really like that. Is it perfect? I don't think it's perfect, but I think it's definitely a very high amazing. Next up we've got, what's this again? Oh yeah, Freebird by Lynyrd Skynyrd. Freebird has become like such a deeply ingrained meme in the music community that you sort of like have to judge it on its own merits now. The whole like when the Freebird solo kicks in has become a meme as well, which is actually a very fun, amusing format. I think we need like a meme column. Transcended to meme. Right, next up we've got Dragon Force with Through the Fire and Flames. What I like about this song is that Herman is completely self-aware about how much of a meme this song is. And he's just like completely played up to it and like milked it, which is super cool. And, I know it's kind of like a meme to like play Through the Fire and Flames and like various gimmicky ways on different instruments and all that jazz. I think it's a meme really, legendary in its own memey right. Pantera, Floods. I don't really dig like the first half with like the add 9 chords. It just sounds like a much heavier version of Every Breath You Take by The Police. But the second half is great. That's pure Dimebag Darrell. It's just like raw, unfiltered emotion with all those like crazy aggressive bends and very wide vibrato and like the whammy stuff. And there's actually some really cool note choices as well. I think this is going in amazing. It's not as good as Sultans of Swing though. Nah. All right. Dream Theater, Under a Glass Moon, played by Joe. No other solo that he's ever done really sounds like Under a Glass Moon. It's very unique sounding, which I think is what sets it apart so much. I mean, it is just basically like a wankfest, right? No matter how you try and think about it. So I'm not really sure I could like stick it up with like the perfect ones. Probably one of the most famous shred solos of all time. I would put it higher than Floods, but I'm not sure it's as like legendary as Sultans of Swing. Oh, Megadeth Tornado of Souls, the greatest metal guitar solo ever recorded. I mean, is it better than Bohemian Rhapsody? Just a smidgen ahead of Bohemian Rhapsody. Now we've got Led Zeppelin, Stairway to Heaven. Stairway to Heaven is of course like probably the most legendary rock song of all time. Does that mean that the solo is also perfect? I don't think so. I think this solo really is more about like the build up to it, like the tension and release. Building and building and building, then there's suddenly this big release where the solo starts. That's the cool thing about it. And the way it sort of like trails off at the end, like, post solo with the call and response with the vocals. It's also very cool. And this is what I'm trying to think about and judge it by, because harmonically, it's not really that great, in my opinion. My original gut instinct is just to slap it in Overrated, but I think that's a bit unfair. But I think it's still great, but mid compared to rest. It's better than Sweet Child of Mine. Hotel California, the Eagles. I hate that guy from the Eagles so much. The one who's like got this whole tirade against YouTube copyright and all that. The Hotel California solo is so good. It's never pained me so much to like anything so much before. The note choicing, perfect. The phrasing is perfect. It follows the chords so well. I mean, I don't really like the arpeggio bits that go on forever at the end. That's kind of boring. But like the actual solo itself is like, it's better than Bohemian Rhapsody. It's not as good as Tornado. Well, it goes there. And now, Edward Van Halen with the Beat It solo. This is another one I'm kind of conflicted about. Very cool solo, extremely unique. Only Eddie would have played something like that over that backing track. There's just something about this solo that's just like so annoying. I don't know what it is. But I try not to be too judgmental about it because I understand the impact he had on the guitar world, just like changed everything. But I'm not that old. I didn't grow up when like fucking Van Halen 1 came out and everyone was listening to Eruption and being like, oh my God, what's that? What's he doing? Whoa. I just can't put my finger on what it is. It's just something that's always annoyed me about his playing. It's just a bit like, just give it a rest, mate. Like, just stop using your whammy bar and like tapping for like 2 seconds. Come on. I'm sure right to all the EVH fans, it's like a perfect solo, but I don't know. But as an outsider, it's like, it's cool, but it's like kind of annoying on repeat listens. I don't know, something about it. It's going here. It's going in a low amazing, all right? Judas Priest, Painkiller. It's a cool solo. What I like about it, especially, is it's very, very sloppy and like unhinged, and I fucking love that. I would much rather listen to Painkiller any day than Beat It. Do I like it better than Floods? Yeah, I do. Let's go in there, right in the middle of amazing. All right, and now we have our underdog, Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit. I do actually very much like the solo in this song. It's super basic, and all it's doing is just like copying the vocal melody, but it's played in such a cool way, and the tone on it is like very nice. You might think I'm mad for this, but I think it's a low perfect. It's very iconic, you know, both the melody and like the way it's played and the tone and its like cultural significance. I can't imagine such a legendary song like that with any other solo. It's like down here, but it's perfect for what it is. Alrighty, next up we've got Deep Purple, Highway Star, I think this was. One of my personal guitar heroes. I think he's a very underrated player. It's a cool solo, but it's not one where you're like, oh my God! It's either like low amazing or high mid. Again, I'd rather listen to it than beat it. It doesn't quite beat Out on Floods. Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's just some like pretty sort of standard shreddy stuff, but it's still very cool. Second to last, we have Rage Against the Machine, Killing in the Name Of. I think this is one of those solos that's like very cool. The first few times you listen to it, it's like, whoa, wasn't expecting that. But you know, this song is like incredibly overplayed, and like the more I hear the solo, the more annoying it gets. It's like, oh, here comes the solo. I reckon it's a high mid. Is it better than Stairway to Heaven? Probably not. Is it better than Sweet Child of Mine? Yeah, it's going here. And last but not least, we have the OG Mr. Jimi Hendrix with All Along the Watchtower. This may be a bit of a controversial opinion, but I think that the cultural significance and influence of Jimi Hendrix holds a lot more weight than his actual music. But that being said, when Jimmy knuckled down and just played some like straight up bangers, like, oh my God, he was on fire. And the solo to All Along the Watchtower is, I think, his shining moment. It's a fucking amazing solo. It's everything about it, man. Just like the lyrics, the vibe of it, like the tones he uses. It's perfect. It's a perfect solo. I mean, in that whole sort of music of like bluesy, jammy, psyche sort of rock, I mean, no one does it better than Hendrix did. Still, even to this day. There we go, our list is complete. So you know in all tier list videos, you always get those damn scallywags that skip straight to the end of the video to see the final ranking and then shout at you in the comments. They were just gonna mess all these up, just to screw with them. There we go. Oh, well there you go guys, my definitive tier list of the most famous guitar solos of all time. What do you think? Do you agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comments right now. And as ever guys, thank you so much for watching. Please do subscribe if you have not done so already. Love each and every one of you, and I shall see you again very soon.